Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Kan. Yeah, my name is Elder Lapalal. To my right is Captain Amawan. Kan. And today's topic is going to be the kings of Judah, the southern kingdom of ancient Israel. And we all know the history of Israel. Originally, Moses gave us judges and kings to rule, which we adhered to for like 357 or so years. But we got seduced by the ways of the other nations. Asked for kings just like the other nation. We want to be like them. And the Most High gave us kings, which we had 3 kings that ruled for 40 years each: Saul, David, and Solomon. Then after that, in 933 BC, the kingdom was divided into the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. 10 kingdoms to the north, Benjamin and Levi, because the northern kingdom rejected the order that the Most High set, where the Levites should be the priest, and to teach all the Israelites throughout the nation, and that they should come to Jerusalem to keep certain high holy days. Okay, so the northern kingdom chose men of other tribes to play the role of the Levites and teaching the people, and I built calves and all that, going to represent the Most High, which were in fact just idols. Okay, so we're going to go over some of the kings. Some of the kings, as I said, this era of kings started in 933 BC after the death of Solomon. Okay, so of course the kingdom was split between the north and south, with the first king of the northern kingdom was Jeroboam of Ephraim, and the first king of the southern kingdom was Rehoboam of Judah. Let's get me 1 Kings chapter 15.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Adonai Yahushai, give it thanks to the Most High and the Father by him.
Right. Whatever you do in word or deed, whether it's words are coming out of your mouth or your actions, they all should be in the context of keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and giving acknowledgement and adherence to the Mashiach Yahushai, the Savior for Israel. Now get me 1 Kings chapter 15. Start from verse 1.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 15, verse 1. Now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, reigned Abijam over Judah.
Right, so Abijah, okay, was the son of Rehoboam. He started to reign in Judah in the 18th year of Jeroboam. Okay, in Judah. Read.
3 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Ma'akah, the daughter of Abishalom.
Right. So this Abijah, he started reigning in 1915 BC. Okay, that's when he started reigning. Okay, and he reigned for 3 years. Read on.
And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him. And his heart was not perfect with the Most High his power, as the heart of David his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake, did the Most High power gave him a lamp in Jerusalem, to set up his son after him, and to establish Jerusalem. Because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Most High, and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite.
Right. So this Abijam was a Rehoboam's son. He walked in. He didn't walk in the manner that David walked. This guy did evil in the sight of the Most High, but the Most High always upheld him anyway, for David's sake, as a lamb before the people. Understand? Because David, the Most High, held in high esteem. David kept the Most High's commandment, except an error of adultery, or where he slept with the Hittite's wife. Read on.
Verse 6. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life.
Right. So there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam because there was enmity, man. There was enmity because Rehoboam expected that he was going to be king of all Israel, all 12 tribes. Then he got word that, hey, this is not what the Most High prescribes. The Most High is bringing a division in the nation. You're only getting 2 tribes, bro. All the other 10 tribes go to the northern kingdom under Jeroboam. So that alone was enough to irritate Rehoboam. Then Jeroboam, I was rather to irritate Rehoboam. Plus Jeroboam was concerned that people of the northern tribes were going to go to Jerusalem to worship. That's why I built those calves and set them up in different parts of the northern kingdom. So there was always enmity going on, especially in the first part, in the early part of the split. Read.
Verse 7. Now the rest of the acts of Abijam and all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the king of Judah? And there was war between Abijam and Jeroboam.
See that? And after Rehoboam died, then Abijam continued the animosity with Jeroboam. The war continued. So right now we are like up in 915 BC, like I said. And that's when Abijam started to reign. He started the reign from 933 to 916, 915 BC. Then he was succeeded by Abijam. And the war continued between Abijam and Jeroboam. Read.
Verse 8. And Abijam slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa, his son, reigned in his stead.
Right. So the southern kingdom started with Rehoboam, and then with his son Abijam, and they did evil in the sight of the Most High. They did not follow the ways of David. And then after Abijam passed, then his son Asa began to reign. So this Asa started to reign in 913 and 912 BC. Read.
Verse 9. And in the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, reigned Asa over Judah. And 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Ma'akah, the daughter of Abishalom. And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of the Most High.
Right. So Asa now did the third king of the southern kingdom, and he did right in the sight of the Most High. Okay, he kept the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. We're going to see what exactly he did. What are some of the things that he did that were considered righteous in the eyes of the Most High? Read on.
Verse 11. And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of the Most High, as David his father. He took away the Sodomites out of the land.
He took away the Sodomites out of the land. Without saying Rehoboam didn't, and Abijam didn't, but Asa recognized that the statutes and laws of the Most High said this is an abomination. So he took them out of the land. Read. I removed them. Even though the commandment, Leviticus 20:13, it's an abomination. They should be put to death. So all those things took place. The Most High, whatever communities they had, there was no modern day wilderness manners there. Asa got rid of that quick fast and slew them. That's right. That's what Asa did. There was no rainbow coalition going on there. Now Asa got rid of that. Read.
And removed all the idols that his fathers had made. And also Ma'akah, his mother, even her, he removed from being queen, because she had made an idol in a grove. And Asa destroyed her idol and burnt it by the brook of Kidron.
Right. Asa even removed his mother from being queen because she was wicked. She made idols to worship. So other people follow out the ways of the other nations, not keeping the Most High's commandments. So even there, whatever altar groves that she had built, where they were making sacrifices to these idols, he pulled those down and burnt them. Read.
But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asa's heart was perfect with the Most High all his days. And he brought in the things which his father had dedicated, and the things which himself had dedicated into the house of the Most High, silver and gold and vessels. And there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. And Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Judah and built Ramah, that he might not suffer any to go out or come in to Asa, king of Judah. Then Asa took all the silver and the gold that were left in the treasures of the house of the Most High, and the treasures of the kings of house, and delivered them into the hand of his servants. And King Asa sent them to Ben-Hadad, the son of Tabrimon, the son of Hezion, king of Syria, that dwelt at Damascus.
So now this shows the division between the northern kingdoms got really thick, to the point that they were the war now between the northern and the southern, between Asa of the south and Bashan of the north, got to the point where the northern kingdom was sending presents and bribes to Syria, in Damascus, to help them to fight against the southern kingdom. Read.
Verse 19. There was a league between me and thee, and between my father and thy father. Behold, I have sent unto thee a present of silver and gold. Come and break thy league with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may depart from me. So Ben-Hadad hearkened unto King Asa, and sent the captains of the host, which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon and Dan, and Abel Beth Maacah, and all Sinroth, and with the land of Naphtali. And it came to pass, when Baasha heard thereof, he left off building of Ramah, and dwelt in Tisra.
Right, right. So the Syrians backed up Asa to fight against in the northern kingdom and smote the different tribal territories of the northern kingdom that Baasha had to retreat and left off from making a siege against Judah. Read.
Verse 22. Then King Asa made a proclamation throughout all Judah. None was exempted, and they took away the stones of Ramah and the timber thereof, wherewith Baasha had built it. And King Asa built with them Geba of Benjamin and Mizpah. The rest of all the acts of Asa and all his might and all he did, and the cities which he built, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the king of Judah?
Right, now go 1 Kings 22, verse 41. So Asa reigned for 41 years, from 913 BC to 872 BC. 41 years, and he was succeeded by his son Jehoshaphat in 872 BC. Okay, so this is basically this is now the fourth king of the southern kingdom, Jehoshaphat. Rehoboam, Abijam, Asa, and now Jehoshaphat. 1 Kings 22:41.
book of 1 Kings, chapter 22, verse 41. And Jehoshaphat, the son of Asa, began to reign over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab, king of Israel. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem.
So he started reigning on, Jehoshaphat started reigning at 35 and reigned for 25 years. So he was 60 when his rulership came to an end. Read.
And his mother's name was Uzubah, the daughter of Shilhi. And he walked in all the ways of Asa his father. He turned not aside from it, doing that which was right in the eyes of the Most High.
Right. So we have back-to-back kings, Asa and Jehoshaphat, his son, who were righteous in following the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay. So we have from 912 or 913 BC, Asa ruled for 41 years at 872, and then Jehoshaphat, his son, started off doing righteously. Read.
Nevertheless, the high places were not taken away, for the people offered and burnt incense yet in the high places. And Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel.
So, okay. So you acknowledge then that I would say that it's the Most High's doing why the kingdom was split. There's nothing we can do about that. The kingdom is going to remain split. So let's agree to disagree and live coexist with each other. So Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of the northern tribe. I suppose he didn't take on the high places because it's people were making sacrifices that are more to the idols in secret, and it's kind of difficult, I guess, unless they made an extensive effort to go through all the land to take down all those high places, because the people were so. That's the history of Israel, man. Always being seduced by the other nations. Always thinking that, hey, there's something more respectable about what the other nation is doing. That instead of acknowledging who they are, that they're the chosen people of the Most High. Read.
Verse 45. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat and all his might that he showed and how he warred, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And the remnant of the Sodomites which remained in the days of his father Asa, he took out of the land. There was no king in Edom. A deputy was king. Jehoshaphat made ships of Tarshish to go to Ophir for gold.
Right. So Jehoshaphat continued in the righteousness of his father, rather Asa, and remove any of the remnant of the Sodomites who were still there. And there was no king in Edom because Israel was besieging Edom. They had Edom in check. Understand? They made sure that Edom didn't have because they knew the history of Edom, that they had a perpetual hatred against them. So they were trying to have Edom more or less subservient to them. Understand? So they didn't allow Edom to have any king. I understand that they had, I'm pretty sure they're just like David back in the time of David. We had those Edomites in check. They besieged them. Right. Now go to 2 Kings chapter 20. Let me see. Hold on. Jehoshaphat or as a matter of fact, let me see. I'll go back to 1 Kings. 1 Kings 22. Yeah.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 22, verse 48. Jehoshaphat made ships of Tarshish to go to Ophir for gold, but they went not, for the ships were broken at Ezon Gabir. Then said Isaiah, the son of Ahab, unto Jehoshaphat, let my servants go with thy servants in the ships. But Jehoshaphat would not. And Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers.
Give me 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 18.
Kings 8 and 18?
Yeah.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 8, verse 18. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel.
Hold on. Let me see. I want to start early. Jehoram. Start in verse 16.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 8, verse 16. And in the 5th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat being then king of Judah, Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign.
Right. So now, Jehoshaphat, after his death, his son Jehoram began to reign, and he began to reign in the 5th year of Ahab, king of Israel. And in the 5th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat began, being then king of Judah, Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, begin to reign. Could continue. And so that was 850 BC. That's when Jehoram, the 5th king of the southern kingdom, began to reign. Read.
Verse 17. 32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 8 years in Jerusalem. And he walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, as did the house of Ahab. For the daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Most High.
Ain't that something? We all know who the daughter of Ahab is, right? Who's the daughter of Ahab? When Jehoram started to reign, Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, began to reign. He started he reigned in Judah, the southern kingdom. Hold on. He followed the ways of the northern kingdom. He followed the ways of the northern kingdom, which is Israel. Because what? Because who was like was saying, because for the daughter of Ahab was his wife. Jehoram was married to Ahab's daughter. Okay, so who was Ahab's wife? Do you recall? Ahab was the king of the northern kingdom. You recall? Oh, go ahead, brother. Yeah. There you go. Jezebel. Right. So he was so Jehoram was married to Jezebel's to Ahab and Jezebel's daughter. What's her name? Athaliah. Right. So like daughter, like mother. And like what I mean? Even though she was an Israelite, because her father Ahab was an Israelite, but remember that Jezebel was very. It's like Jezebel had Ahab wrapped her on her finger or something, man, because this guy would do anything that Ahab said, or that his wife Jezebel said. He's always going to her. Then Jezebel said, "Don't worry about it. I got you." Remember all they conspired to take away a man's vineyard and all that. Oh, Jezebel had all those 400 or 450 the prophets, false prophets. Yeah. So she's a wicked woman who was very influential and her daughter, Athaliah, who in turn was very influential, and on Jehoram. Understand? So Jehoram made the mistake of marrying Athaliah, the daughter of Ahab and Jezebel. Okay, which had him following the gods, worshiping the gods of the nations. Reads, and this started in 850 BC. Read on.
Verse 18. And he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, as did the house of Ahab, for the daughter of Ahab was his wife. And he did evil in the sight of the Most High. Yet the Most High would not destroy Judah for David his father's sake, as he promised him to give him always in light, and to his children. In his days Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah, and made a king over themselves.
Ain't that something? No, Edom got. So I guess the Most High was stirring up an adversary of Jehoram. You don't want to walk in my ways? All right. You know what the Most High does, man. You know, whenever you disobey the Most High, you always send an enemy against you. And we know Edom was to the south of the southern kingdom, to the south of Judah. It was right across the border. So the Most High was raising up Edom now to be a thorn in the southern kingdom side. So they made themselves a king. They put some spine in there, put some steel in their spine, get some backbone. Now they're trying to rebel against our dominance of them in Jehoram's time in 850 or so BC. Read.
So Joram went over to Zaire, and all the chariots with him, and he rose by night and smote the Edomites that compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Then Libnah revolted at the same time. And the rest of the acts of Joram and all he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
Right. So of course, Jehoram wasn't going to have that. So he stepped on the Edomites and he smote them, but the Edomites kept revolting because I guess they saw the interaction between the warfare going on between, especially with the Syrians to the north. They say, hey, if they can fight them, we can fight them too. So they got them a king, and they was making war against Israel, revolting against our dominance of them. Read. So now Joram.
So Joram went over to Zaire, and all the chariots with them, and he rose by night, and smote the Edomites that which compassed him about, and the captains of the chariots, and the people fled into their tents. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day. Then Libnah revolted at the same time. And the rest of the acts of Joram and all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Joram slept with his fathers, and was buried with his father in the city of David. And Uzziah his son reigned in his stead. In the 12th year of Joram the son of Ahab, king of Israel, did Uzziah the son of Jeroboam, king of Judah, began to reign.
So this Ahaziah, with the son of Jehoram and Athaliah. Understand? And I know after Jehoram was dead, put to death, Ahaziah was going to reign, and this was in 843 BC. Okay, is there more of that? Read on.
Verse 26. 22 years old was Uzziah when he began to reign. And he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Athaliah.
See? So Ahaziah, he reigned for less than a year. Understand? Before he was put to death. And it was six. His mother's name was Athaliah, which was the daughter of Jehoram. Was the daughter of Jezebel, Ahab and Jezebel. Read on.
The daughter of Omri, king of Israel. And he walked in the way of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of the Most High, as did the house of Ahab. For he was the son-in-law of the house of Ahab. And he went with Joram, the son of Ahab, to war against Hazael, king of Syria. In Ramoth Gilead. And the Syrians...
Give me 2 Kings 11. Give me 2 Kings 11. That's what that says.
Verse 1?
Yeah, verse 1.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. And when Athaliah, the mother of Uzziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal.
Right, so Athaliah was the mother of Ahaziah. Okay, and when she saw that her son was dead, he was killed within a year, because he started ruling in 843. And he didn't rule for like months before he was put to death. And when she saw that her son was dead, she decided to destroy all the royal seed. He destroyed anyone who might have been in a position to succeed to get the kingship after Ahaziah. Read.
But Jehosheba, the daughter of King Jeroboam, the sister of Uzziah, took Joash, the son of Uzziah, and stole him from among the king's sons, which were slain. And they hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber from Athaliah.
Yeah, so, but one of them was able to escape. The auntie got the young son and hid him. Okay, so Athaliah wasn't able to destroy all the royal seed. She did, except for one, the young son that the auntie was able to hide. Read.
So that he was not slain, and he was with her hid in the house of the Most High 6 years.
So 6 years. Read on.
And Athaliah did reign over the land.
And Athaliah did reign over the land. I can understand. See, she was the first female, first queen of Judah. Understand? There were 12 people who sat on the throne of Judah, the southern kingdom. 19 men and on this one female, Athaliah. Okay, and she reigned for what, 6 years? Okay. Read that. She thought she didn't know about the young son. She didn't know about the young son, which of course was her grandson. Deborah? Deborah, they were talking about Barak in Judges. I gotta check. I'm gonna check back. I believe there was some. I could check it out. Check it out. But off the top of my head, I don't remember what tribe she's from. I gotta check it out. Read.
And he was with her hid in the house of the Most High 6 years. And Athaliah did reign over the land. And the 7th year of Jehoiada sent and fetched the rulers over hundreds, with the captains and the guard, and brought them to him into the house of the Most High, and made a covenant with them, and took an oath of them in the house of the Most High, and showed them the king's son.
Right. It's in the 7th year of Athaliah's rulership. The captains made a league with the men of valor. Okay, and then they reveal the previous king's son, Josiah. Read.
And he commanded them, saying, This is the thing that ye shall do. A third part of you that enter in on the Sabbath should even be keepers of the watch of the king's house.
Right. So it's like he was posting up the men of valor, the warriors in different positions. He was strategizing now. Okay, read on.
And a third part shall be at the gate of Sur, and a third part at the gate behind the guard. So shall you keep the watch of the house, that it be not broken down.
Right. So you had men post up in different positions surrounding the house to keep guard. Read.
And 2 parts of all of you that go forth on the Sabbath, even they shall keep the watch of the house of the Most High about the king. And ye shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapons in his hand. And he that cometh within the ranges, let him be slain. And be ye with the king as he goeth out and as he cometh in. And the captains over the hundreds did according to all the things Jehoiada the priest commanded. And they took every man his men that were to come in on the Sabbath, with them that they should go out on the Sabbath, and came to Jehoiada the priest. And to the captains over hundreds did the priest give King David spears and shields that were in the temple of the Most High. And the guard stood, every man with his weapon in his hand, round about the king, from right corner of the temple to the left corner of the temple, along by the altar and the temple. And he brought forth the king's son and put a crown upon him, and gave him the testimony. And they made him king and anointed him. And they clapped their hands and said, the Most High saved the king. And when Athaliah heard the noise of the guard and of all the people, she came to the people into the temple of the Most High.
Right. So now that was a plan. Now, I mean, he was still a young kid, only 7 years old. But they say, now, you know, for this chick, man, Athaliah, we have had enough of her. So they brought for this young child, a 7-year-old, and they men organize themselves military-wise and posted up men in different corners of the house to secure the kingship. So now the priest came out, got the young son, put a crown up on his head, anointed him. Hey, so now you young kid. Yeah. Of course, he's a young kid. He's not in a position to carry out any command or giving orders or even understand what's going on. But of course, men with the priests and all that, men of elders and men of understanding, we're going to conduct the affairs until groom him up in the ways of righteousness, and you know what I mean, start as far as keeping the Most High's laws and all that, and start as far as carrying out the administrative duties of a sovereignty of a nation. So that's where they was at right now. And then you know, they were celebrating, popping champagne, popping bottles and all that. You know what I'm saying? So blowing horns and all that, blowing the chauffeur and all that. You know what I'm saying? The athlete said, what's that? It's not my birthday. It's not a holiday. What are they celebrating? Somebody had the hand up? Yeah. I believe he was this king right here, Joash. I mean, what's his name again? Josiah. Joash. No. It's probably Josiah, or I think Josiah was 8, but he was like 7 years. Probably this guy, probably this young king right here. Joash, yeah. This is him, Joash, yeah. He's probably the youngest, because remember, he was a baby when his father died. Understand that she didn't even know about him. Understand? She didn't even know about him, but the auntie knew. The auntie hit him. You know, she was so wicked that the auntie hit the son in the temple. If she was a righteous woman, she would have been in the temple from time to time and know about the kid, right? So he didn't even bother to go in the temple to know what's going on in there. I mean, just yeah. If you want to hide something, right? They say if you want to hide something from a jay, we put it in a book, right? If you want to hide something from a wicked person, we put it in the temple. You know what I'm saying? They'll never go in there. So that's what they did. They hid this kid in the temple, and after later, this wicked woman, the daughter of Jezebel, she didn't even bother to go into the temple, man. She was too busy and the altars and the groves, doing sacrifice to the gods of the other, to Baal and all the gods of the other nations. So read verse 13 again.
Verse 13. And when Athaliah heard the noise of the guard and all the people, she came to the people in the temple of the Most High.
That's okay. Now she want to know what's going on over there. Read.
And when she looked, behold, the king stood by a pillar, as the manner was, and the princes and the trumpeters by the king. And all the people of the land rejoiced and blew with the trumpets. And Athaliah rent her clothes and cried, treason, treason.
Yeah, so when she went into the temple, she saw the king by the throne, with all the royal people around her, standing guard and all that, as is the custom of a king. And she went to, she knew what was up right there. If this guy's king, I'm no longer queen. Which means I'm no longer queen, that means I'm going to be put to death. So she rent her clothes and she rent her clothes, but you're wicked. When someone rent their clothes, they're repenting. Throwing the ash up on their head and all that, they're about to repent. But you weren't keeping the Most High's commandments to begin with. So what are you repenting? I mean, we know you're not trying to ask for forgiveness. Because you cried treason, treason. Right?
Verse 15. But Jehoiada the priest commanded the captain of the hundreds, the officers of the host, and said unto them, have her forth without the ranges, and him that followeth her kill with the sword. For the priest has said, let her not be slain in the house of the Most High. And they laid hands on her, and she went out by the way by which the horses came into the king's house, and there was she slain.
Right, so they grabbed her. They don't want to kill her in the Most High's temple. Understand? Hey, we're not going to shed any blood in the Most High's temple. We're not going to make sacrifices up in here. But they grabbed her, took her outside, and they put her to death. Okay, so her 6-year rulership came to an end, and now this young king, Joash, was on the throne. Of course, taking advice from righteous men around him. You were 7, Joash? God. Right, you see that? Because it's in her 7th year, right? God, read.
And Jehoiada made a covenant between the Most High and the king and the people, that they should be the Most High's people. Between the king also and the people. And all the people of the land went into the house of Baal.
Right.
Break it down.
Right. So this was 837 BC. Understand? When Joash officially started reign. Some people may consider that he was in rulership from birth, from 843, when Athaliah was actually on the throne, because some people refuse to acknowledge that there was actually, a queen. They really they find it hard to acknowledge her as a legitimate king, because even though because the way the king was set up is men. Understand? Men were the priests and men were the kings. Understand? And the sons after them would succeed them. That's right. Because that's a seed line right there. That's for the Most High. But this wicked woman, she usurped authority for 6-7 years, came to an end, and then the rightful ruler, Joash, at 7 years old, sat on the throne. And that was 837 BC. Go on, read on. Yeah, and of course, they told them they made a covenant of righteousness, and they told them all those groves and those altars in the house of Baal that Athaliah, as per the custom of her mother, had built. Go on, Rock. Will Baal be today? Just about every time you see the word Baal, it's it's associated with us about all the nations round about at that time. And so probably started with the Philistines, and that's but you know, I mean, all the nations, because they will spread their customs amongst the different nations round about them. Understand? They would worship build groves in different nations and make sacrifices to him, to this idol. So like these guys are just idols that I'm saying man-made that are different nations. So in this day and time, anything that's wickedness, anything that's of you know what I mean, just like Beelzebub, you know, anything that's contrary to the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Understand? That's Baal right there. Read.
Verse 19. And he took the rulers over hundreds and the captains and the guard and all the people of the land, and they brought down the king from the house of the Most High. And it came by the way of the gate of the guard to the king's house, and he sat on the throne of the kings. And all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was in quiet. And they slew Athaliah with the sword besides the king's house. 7 years old was Joash when he began to reign.
Right. That's so. That's I think that's just the youngest king that ever reigned in Israel. Josiah, which we have, if you have time, maybe not another day. He was a young king also. Well, maybe like I think I'm maybe 8 years old when he began to reign. Okay. Now get me let's see. I want to go. Amaziah. Okay, I read go to chapter 12. Go to chapter 12.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 12, verse 1. In the 7th year of Jehu, Joash began to reign, and 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and all his mother's name, and his mother's name was Zabiah of Beersheba. And Joash did that which was right in the sight of the Most High. All his days were in Jehoiada the priest instructed him. But the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burnt incense in the high places.
Right. So I mean, he did right in the eyes of the Most High because he was instructed by the priest. Understand? From a young child, like the scripture says, grow up a young child in the ways of the Most High. When they grow up, they never depart. So basically, that's the principle in which the foundation was laid. Okay. That's what was going on. But of course, it says right here. But some of the high places was still there because that's a wicked. That must have been wicked on the You got it. That's good. Okay. That's a wicked. The kingdoms were, man. There were so many high places of people, random people throughout the kingdoms that it would have been some extra effort to take them all down, because people do not kind of abomination in secret and in hiding places. When the king made it a policy to tear them down, they started disguising things. I can read on. Chapter 12, 2 Kings chapter 12. Verse 4. Okay.
This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 12, verse 4. And Jehoash said to the priests, all the money of the dedicated things that is brought into the house of the Most High, even the money of everyone that passeth the account, the money that every man is set at, and all the money that cometh into any man's heart to bring into the house of the Most High. Verse 5. Let the priest take it to them, every man of his acquaintance, and let them repair the branches of the house, wheresoever any breach shall be found. But it was so that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priest had not repaired the breaches of the house.
Right. So now, of course, before Jehoash, when Athaliah was ruling, she had no regard for the house of the Most High. So everything was neglected, everything was run down, deteriorating. So Jehoash, now being a righteous young king, and was working in collaboration with the priests in righteousness, he said, you know what, we need to repair the house of the Most High. So he made a decree, say, to the kingdom to collect, funding from various people. To pool their resources to repair, making necessary repair and breaches in the king's house. Read? In the Most High's house.
Verse 7. The king Jehoash called for Jehoiada, the priest, and the other priests, and said unto them, why repair ye not the breaches of the house? Now therefore receive no more money of your acquaintance, but deliver it for the breaches of the house.
Right. So Jehoash realized that his orders weren't being followed to repair the breaches of the house. So he said, you know what? Don't collect any more money. Whatever you got, let's bring it here. But don't collect any money from your acquaintances, from the people, from the constituents, your fellow Israelites, because you haven't been carrying my orders to repair the house. So he's kind of upset and disappointed that they were moving promptly to carry this order, right?
And the priest consented to receive no more money of the people, neither to repair the breaches of the house. But Jehoiada, the priest, took a chest and bored a hole in the lid of it, and set it beside the altar on the right side as one cometh into the house of the Most High. And the priest that kept the door put therein all the money that was brought into the house of the Most High.
Right. So they said, so they stopped going out and collecting money from the people, but the priests set up just like you have the box right there. You got a little chest, bore a hole in it, so people can drop a little envelope, whatever, a little package of the donations toward the cause. That's what it did. That's the same thing that Jehoiada the priest did. Read.
Verse 10. And it was so, when they saw that there was much money in the chest, that the king's scribe and the high priest came up, and they put up in bags, and told the money that was found in the house of the Most High. And they gave the money, being told, into the hands of them that did the work, that had the oversight of the house of the Most High. And they laid it out to the carpenters and builders that wrought upon the house of the Most High.
Right. So they took a look in the chest and said, we got some money now. We can do something. So they got all the carpenters and builders and construction workers together and said, and so they assigned them different tasks, duties to perform to make the necessary repairs. Read.
And to masons and hewers of stone, and to buy timber and huge stone to repair the breaches of the house of the Most High, and for all that was laid out for the house to repair it. Howbeit there were not made for the house of the Most High bowls of silver, snuffers, basins, trumpets, any vessels of gold or vessels of silver, of the money that was brought into the house of the Most High. But they gave that to the workmen, and repaired therewith the house of the Most High. Moreover, they reckoned not with the men, into whose hand they delivered the money to be bestowed on workmen, for they dealt faithfully. The trespass money and sin money was not brought into the house of the Most High. It was the priests.
Right. So they didn't sign a formal contract. Everyone was working on. Everyone had faith in each other. They're gonna do right by the Most High, and not defraud one another or try to siphon up any of the money, for their own personal gain. So everyone trusted each other. Hey, we're gonna do this. we ain't gonna lie about it, and we ain't gonna try to overcharge anybody. I try to be slack on the job and all that. So, okay, read on.
Then Hazael, king of Syria, went up and fought against Gath and took it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. And Jehoash, king of Judah, took all the hallowed things that Jehoshaphat and Jehoshaphat and Jehoram and Ahaziah, his fathers, kings of Judah, had dedicated, and his own hallowed things, and all the gold that was found in the treasures of the house of the Most High, and in the king's house, and sent it to Hazael, king of Syria, and went away from Jerusalem. And the rest of the acts of Jehoash, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And his servants arose and made a conspiracy and slew Joash in the house of Milo, which goeth down to Salah. For Jehoshaphat, the son of Shemaiah, and Jehoshaphat, the son of Shamar, his servants, smote him, and he died. And they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. And Amaziah, his son, reigned in his stead.
Right, so Joash, there's always conspiracy in Israel, man. Even when they're doing right by the Most High, there's always someone of a jealous spirit who will sing that, hey, it's my time to reign right now. So, that's what they did. So they conspired against him, and they slew him, and now that came to pass in 803 BC. Okay, he reigned from 843 BC to 803 BC, and his son Amaziah started ruling on this 803 BC. Okay, let me see where does Judah continue in this script right here. I want to jump over the king, the details on the northern kingdom, which we already covered, and focus. Yeah, chapter 14. Yeah.
Verse 1.
Yeah.
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 14, and verse 1. In the second year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, reigned Amaziah, the king, the son, Salakia, of Joash, king of Judah.
Right. So Amaziah succeeded his father Joash. Right.
He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Joadon.
He was 25 when he started reigning, and reigned for 29 years. So basically, it was 54 when he died, when his worship came to pass. Read.
Of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Most High, yet not like David his father. He did according to all things as Joash his father did. Howbeit the high places were not taken away, as yet the people did sacrifice and burnt incense on the high places.
Right, so we can see that Amaziah was also a righteous king. He followed in the footsteps of his father Joash, even though, there are different degrees of righteousness with these men. Some men was more zealous, understand? Because was more zealous for the Most High than others. A very few of them even came close to the zeal that David had, in keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, and pursuing righteousness. But the acts they did, he acknowledged the Most High, kept the commandments as best he could, and read on.
Verse 5. And it came to pass, as soon as the kingdom was confirmed in his hand, that he slew his servants which had slain the king as his father.
Right. So as soon as this guy realized, okay, now I'm established now. I'm king. Okay, and God, my men behind me, my military and all that. Okay, and so now I'm a strong man now. So hey, what did he do? Went back and killed all those people who conspired against his father and killed his father. You see, he rose up against him and slew them. Read.
But the children of the murderers he slew not, according unto that which is written in the book of the law of Moses, wherein the Most High commanded, saying, the fathers shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers.
Right. And not all kings did this. I'm saying that was a righteous thing, which he's doing right now. He said, okay, these men specifically by name took part in the assassination of my father. They are the ones specifically that I'm going after. I'm not going to go after their children. Other kings would have done that. Other kings would have said, you know what? I'm not leaving any, in a loose ends. I'm not leaving any royal seed, anyone who's going to grow up later on and come back at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting rid of all of you. Even if they hadn't done anything to them, just like this Athaliah, the woman, what did she do? When her son had died, as she wanted to reign, he said, you know what? I'm going to rule. I'm going to be queen. I'm going to make sure that none of his seed, royal, will come up and be kings. I'm going to slay all of them. Understand about this Amaziah, and I'm not going to take that route. I'm going to be righteous about it and just slay the ones who are the role in the assassination of my father. Even though others are related to you, if they didn't play a role in it, by law, the Most High's commandments, they're not guilty. So I'm not going to bring a judgment against them. Read on.
But every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Right. He slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000.
Right. Edom, see that? The Edomites are still there, man. Right. I mean, always, hey, scripture don't lie, man. The perpetual hatred come from way back then. Read.
And took Salah by war, and called the name of it Joktheel unto this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash, the son of Joahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, come, let us look one another in the face. And Joash, the king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, the thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, give thy daughter to my son to wife. And there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon, and trode down the thistle. Thou hast indeed smitten Edom, and thine heart hath lifted thee up. Glory of this, and tarry at home. For why shouldest thou meddle to thy heart, that thou shouldest fall, even thou and Judah with thee?
Right. So Judah was now trying to get an alliance going with the northern kingdom. To bolster. The military. To strengthen themselves against any adversaries round about them, like the Syrians or the Assyrians, even the Egyptians. And because Judah just slaughtered Edom. But the northern kingdom was saying, you know what? You did a good job slaughtering the Moabites, the Edomites, but let's not get too carried away with that. So just stay at home and let it be. Read.
Verse 11. But Amaziah would not hear. Therefore Joash, king of Israel, went up, and he and Amaziah, king of Judah, looked one another in the face at Beth Shemesh, which belongeth to Judah. And Judah was put to the worst before Israel, and they fled every man to their tents. And Joash, king of Israel, took Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Ahaziah, at Beth Shemesh, and came to Jerusalem, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim unto the corner gate, 400 cubits.
Right. So this caused a conflict between the northern kingdoms, between the two kingdoms, north and south. And at this point, the northern kingdom got the better. To the point where they basically captured the king of the southern kingdom, Amaziah. They invaded Jerusalem. They was right there in Jerusalem, breaking down the walls and all that. You know, making a havoc in Jerusalem, in the southern kingdom. Read.
Verse 14. And he took all the gold and silver and all the vessels that were found in the house of the Most High and in the treasures of the king's house and hostages, and returned to Samaria. Verse 15. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoash, which he did in his might, and how he fought with Amaziah, king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel?
See, some of these names sound so familiar. I mean, Jehoash was a king of Israel at that time, the northern kingdom at that time. I understand and how he fought with Amaziah, the king of Judah, and all those conflicts and other works or wars that they made were documented in Chronicles of the kings of Israel. Read.
And Jehoash slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. And Jeroboam, his son, reigned in his stead. And Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, lived after the death of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, 15 years.
So Amaziah, he lived another 15 years after Joash died. This Joash who just defeated him and stole all those gold and silver and all the precious metals and stones and all that from Jerusalem. So let's see what Amaziah is going to do now that his enemy from the northern kingdom is dead. Joash. Read.
Verse 18. And the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Now they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish and slew him there.
See, so now there's a slew Amaziah. That was 775 BC. Read on.
And they brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. And all the people of Judah took Azariah, which was 16 years old, and made him king instead of his father Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah after the king slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, began to reign in Samaria.
So in verse 21 it said, and all the people of Judah took Azariah, which was 16 years old, and made him king instead of his father Amaziah. So Azariah succeeded his father Amaziah. That was 775 or so BC. Read.
And reigned 41 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High. He departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. He restored the coast of Israel from the entering of Hamath unto the sea of the plain.
Jump to chapter 15.
Chapter 15, verse 1?
Yeah, verse 1.
2 Kings chapter 15, verse 1. In the 27th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, began Azariah, son of Amaziah, king of Judah, to reign. 16 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jecholiah of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Most High, according to all that his father Amaziah had done, save that the high places were not removed. The people sacrificed and burnt incense still on the high places.
Are the campmen here already? Are the brothers at camp here already? Not everybody? Okay, all right. All right. We continue then until more or less they You more or less got the things ready? Okay. Huh? Oh, okay. All right. All right. Keep going.
Verse 5. And the Most High smote the king, so that he was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a several house. And Jotham, the king's son, was over the house, judging the people of the land. And the rest of the acts of Azariah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
Right. So now Azariah he got killed and was succeeded by his son Jotham. Okay, read on.
Verse 7. So Azariah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. And Jotham, his son, reigned in his stead. In the 38th year of Azariah, king of Judah, did Zechariah, the son of Jeroboam, reign over Israel in Samaria 6 months. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, as his fathers had done. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And Shalamah, the son of Jabash, conspired against him, and smote him before the people, and slew him.
All right, jump to chapter 16, verse 1.
Verse 16, verse 1. Chapter 16, verse 1. The 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign.
Yeah. So in the 17th year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, Ahaz, the son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. So now Ahaz was Jotham's son, and he began to reign 741 BC. Right?
20 years old was Ahaz when he began to reign, and reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and did not that which was right in the sight of the Most High, his power, like David his father. But he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, yea, and made his son to pass through the fire, according to the abominations of the heathen, whom the Most High cast out from before the children of Israel.
So we had 4 righteous kings back to back to back to back. Joahaz, Amaziah, and Azariah, and Jotham. But now Ahaz had to break that trend. He had to go on. It's forward. He had to go back to wickedness, man. Understand? So he reigned for a little while, from 741 to 726. So basically reigned for about 15 years. Okay, now go to 2 Kings chapter 20.
It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 20, verse 1. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, Thus saith the Most High.
Hold on a second. Let me maybe I jumped. Oh, okay, let me. Go back to chapter 18. Let me see. I want to start in 18. Yeah, 18 and 1.
2 Kings chapter 18, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign.
Right. So Hezekiah was the son of Ahaz. He began to reign. Let's see how he reigned. Read.
25 years old was he when he began to reign. And he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Most High.
Right, so Hezekiah now, the son of Ahaz, went back to righteousness. Okay.
According to all that David his father did. He removed the high places, and break the images, and cut down the groves, and break in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it. And he called it Nehashtan. He trusted in the Most High, thy power of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him.
Okay, now jump to verse 13.
Verse 13. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, and did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah.
Now, Hezekiah started reigning in 726 BC. Okay, 726 BC. So we know the northern kingdom, our southern kingdom started on 933 BC. So we are 726 BC. So it's more than 200 years. It's 13 years, something like that. 207 years, something like that. That the southern kingdom has been in existence, in rulership. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, there's Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came up against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them. Read.
And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria, to Lachish, saying, I have offended. Return from me. That which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Most High, and in the treasures of the king's house. At that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Most High, and from the pillars which Hezekiah, king of Judah, had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah.
So yeah, I mean, so this king, it was in the 14th year of his rulership, of Hezekiah's rulership. He started ruling in 726 BC. Okay, so 14 years after that, that's when it came against Judah. That's basically after he already removed the southern, the northern kingdom. Okay, so 14 from 726, that's basically 712, all right? So this is about 712. That is now we are trying to make war, trying to besiege the southern kingdom. 712. So basically this is 10 years after they took down the northern kingdom. Now he's coming for the southern kingdom, and having the southern kingdom paid tribute to him. So these Assyrians men were going after the whole entire kingdoms of Israel, the whole entire nation of Israel, the north and the south. They already took down the south and brought the men from the south in 720. The north. Brought the men from the north to different parts of the Assyrian Empire. And now he's going after the southern kingdom in about 712 BC. Read.
With a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field. And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim, and the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, What confidence is this wherein thou trustest?
Thou sayest, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom doest thou trust, that thou rebellest against me? Now, behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust on him. But if you say unto me, we trust in the Most High our power, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away, and hath said to Judah and Jerusalem, ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? Now therefore, I pray thee, give pledges to the Most High, king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses.
Give pledge to the Lord of Assyria. That's what it says, Lord, right?
To my Lord, the king of Assyria.
Right. Okay.
And I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them.
So now this guy, they said that the captain of the host of the Assyrian army was coming up against Israel, making big talk, man, threatening the people, talking loud and mighty. Yeah, your God can't protect you. That's what they were saying. The Most High Yahweh, he can't protect you. Was he supposed to protect you when we took on the northern kingdom? Was he supposed to protect you when he came against you earlier? So now come to your senses and pay a tribute to our Lord, the king of Assyria. That's what they were saying. Right?
Verse 24. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up without the Most High against this place to destroy it? The Most High said to me, go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah.
No, jump to verse 30. Speed it up a bit, yeah.
Verse 30. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Most High, saying, the Most High will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria.
That's what he's saying. Don't let Hezekiah trick you into thinking that the Most High is going to defend you. That you're not going to be delivered up to the Assyrians. That's what the Assyrian guy was saying to the Israelites. He was speaking the Hebrew, so everyone could hear and understand what he was saying. Right?
Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me. And then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree.
Yeah, make a covenant with me. Pay tribute to me. Then I leave you. I let you eat. Let you eat in comfort and peace. But you got to pay tribute to me. Right?
And drink ye every one the waters of his cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of oil, olive, and of honey, that ye may live and not die.
Jump to verse 36.
Verse 36. But the people held their peace and answered him not a word, for the king's commandment was, saying, answer him not. Then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shalamah the scribe, and Joah, the son of Asaph, the recorder, to Hezekiah.
Right. So the people was commanded to not don't respond to this guy. Understand? We're going to deal with this. The top men of Judah is going to deal with this. So then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over their household, and the scribe. They rent their clothes. They're in mourning right now, seeking refuge, seeking help from the Most High. They went to the king to let the king know what's going on. Oh, this guy's talking tough, trying to threaten the people, trying to impose taxation and tribute on the people. Let's see how the king responds to it. Verse chapter 19.
Chapter 19, verse 1. And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth and went into the house of the Most High. And he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Shalamah the scribe, and the elders of the priests covered with sackcloth to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, This day is a day of trouble, and of rebuke, and blasphemy, for the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. It may be the Most High thy power will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria, his master, hath sent to reproach the living power, and will reprove the words which the Most High thy power hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say to your master, Thus saith the Most High, Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and he shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Lebanon, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish.
Right. So they went to the prophet Isaiah and let him know what's going on with this guy was saying. Isaiah said, "Don't worry about it." And Isaiah gave me word that this guy told the king of Assyria going to fall in his sword in his own land. And they so to speak. So it happens that when the messenger of the king of Assyria went back to homeland, the Assyrian was warring against another nation. Okay, and in the meantime, let's see how Hezekiah is progressing. Now jump to verse 14.
Verse 14. And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Most High and spread it before the Most High. And Hezekiah prayed before the Most High and said, O Most High, thy power of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, thou art the power, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Most High, bow down thine ear and hear. Open, Most High, thine eyes and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which hath sent him to reproach the living power. Of a truth, the Most High, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations in their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them. Now therefore, O Most High, our power, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Most High, thy power.
Right. So Hezekiah went to the Most High, to the temple, opened the letter to the Most High, said, yeah, this is it. This is what this guy is saying. Is blasphemy. That's up to you. I'll let him Assyria and slaughter you. But to save my name, to let him know, hey, you can't blaspheme my name like that. To show them that I'm the only power there is. I'm going to retaliate against them. And to show them to respect my servant David's name, because they all know the deeds that David did and how we slaughtered those nations years ago. Read.
Verse 35. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Most High went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpse. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt in Nineveh. And it came to pass as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer, his son, smote him with the sword. And they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead.
So the Most High sent an angel. It wasn't even the army of Israel who did this. It was the angel of the Most High. Those death angels who slaughtered what? 100, 405,000 That's 185,000 Assyrians. That's how many people are the most, the death angel. Can you imagine how many they're gonna slaughter when Yahushua comes with his army of angels? Thousands of angels with him. I mean, this nation ain't got a chance, man. Okay, so and then to make things even worse, when the king Sennacherib, when he went back to Assyria, his own sons slew him. Two of his sons, I don't know for whatever reason, it doesn't mention what the reasons were. I guess must have been some internal power struggle, some domestic family dispute. They slew him, and then and seek refuge in another city, and then a third son took over the rulership in Assyria. So just to fulfill the Moses prophecy, the Moses said he was going to fall on the sword in his own country, which is what happened. His own sons killed him, and then his third son took over the rulership in Assyria. Okay, and to defend Israel in the time of Hezekiah. So Hezekiah went on rule from 726 to 697 BC. After that, his son Manasseh ruled from 697 to 642 BC. He was succeeded by Ammon, who ruled from 641 to 640. Let's see if let's see if time allowed. Get me 2 Kings 21, 1 through 5.
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 21, verse 1. Manasseh was 12 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hephzibah.
Right. So we know Hezekiah was sick. He was a righteous king, so he reminded the Most High how we did all those great deeds, how he got the people to be in righteousness, and all that, pulled on the groves and all that. So the Most High gave him an extra 15 years, but he passed. But after he passed, his son Manasseh began to rule, and his son, as I said, started ruling in 697 BC. Read.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, after the abominations of the heathen, whom the Most High cast out before the children of Israel. For he built up again the high places, which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. And he reared up altars of Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab, king of Israel, and worshipped all the hosts of heaven,
right,
and served them.
Verse 10. See that this guy went way off, man. I mean, didn't he learn anything from his father? Right. You saw what his father did, or his father walked with the Most High, or the Most High delivered Israel from the Syrians. Right. You saw the Most High spared his father a life for 15 years after his father was on his deathbed, about to pass away. But I guess you can't. Righteousness is not basically hereditary. That's why you got to work with your own soul salvation with the Most High. It's because your father was righteous. I'm saying David was righteous, but what happened to Solomon? He went way off, right, with the woman. You know what I mean? So you can train up a child all you want. I mean, you can train the minute depart, but there are so many external influences out there, and that we are exposed to. You know what I mean? So you may find that you try with a child, but now when they grow up, because the influences are out there, they may depart. Go. He was a grown man when he succeeded. He was like 20-something. He was a grown man. You know what I mean? So the same with Samuel. Remember Samuel, the prophet Samuel. He was the last judge of Israel. Remember what happened? The elders went to him and said, "Yo, Samuel, you're a righteous man. We respect you. We know the work you did, but look at your sons, man. Look at the way they're acting. Look at the report they have in there. They're wicked as hell, Samuel. I mean, we can't expect them that they're gonna be righteous after you pass. I mean, so right now, before you pass away, I mean, we got I make this covenant with the Most High to give us kings like the other nations. I mean, we can't trust. You can't pass on the mantle to your sons. No disrespect, Bob, but we see. I mean, we all know all these guys are abominable. I mean, saying that Sam was a man of the Most High. Okay, now verse 10.
Verse 10. And the Most High spake by his servants, the prophets, saying, because Manasseh, king of Judah, hath done these abominations, and hath done wickedly above all that the Amorites did, which were before him, and hath made Judah also to sin with his idols. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, the power of Israel, behold, I am bringing such evil upon Jerusalem and Judah, that whosoever heareth of it, both his ears shall tingle.
Right. Because Manasseh made Israel to sin on a level that was more abominable than the people, the Amorites who lived in the land before Israel. So the Moses said, I'm going to bring such wickedness upon Israel, so that people hear about it, it's going to make their ears tingle. They can't believe what they're hearing. Read.
Verse 13. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab. And I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish.
See that? The Moses is going to stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria. Man. So, the Judah. Oh, Ahab? Oh. It was another another tribe, but I got another kingdom. I gotta check that. I'm not sure, off the top of my head, I'm not sure what tribe was from. Yeah, but the Moses is gonna stretch up the line of Samaria. The same thing that he did to Ahab, this is what he's saying. I'm gonna do the same thing to you, to Manasseh. I'm gonna bring the same level of retribution upon you that I brought to Ahab because of the abomination that you brought to Judah. Read.
And I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipeth a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. And I will forsake the remnant of mine inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemies. And they shall become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies, because they have done that which was evil in my sight and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came forth out of Egypt, even unto this day. Moreover, Manasseh shed in innocent blood very much, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another, beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, and doing that which was evil in the sight of the Most High. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh and all that he did and his sin that he sinned, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And Manasseh slept with his fathers and was buried in the garden of his own house, in the garden of Uzzah. And Amon, his son, reigned in his stead.
Right, so Manasseh, the Most High means all this wickedness he did, I'm going to bring havoc up in Jerusalem and Judah. And the Most High finally slew him. And then brought in his son Ammon reign in his stead. Right? And that was 641 BC. When Ammon saw the reign after the death of his father. Read.
Ammon was 22 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Meshullemeth, the daughter of Haraz and Jotbah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, as his father Manasseh did. And he walked in all the way that his father walked in, and served the idols that his father served, and worshipped them. And he forsook the Most High, thy power of his fathers, and walked not in the way of the Most High. And the servants of Ammon conspired against him, and slew the king in his own house. And the people of the land slew all them that had conspired against King Ammon. And the people of the land made Josiah, his son, king in his stead.
Right, so the servants of Ammon conspired against him and slew him. Ammon who did not walk in the ways of the Most High, he did not follow the Most High's commandments, and his servants conspired against him and slew him. But the people didn't tolerate that. The people didn't go with that. The people rose up against his servants and slew them in return, and then put his son Josiah on the throne to rule Judah. That was because Ammon ruled for only 2 years. That was basically from 641 to 639. So Uzziah became king of Israel in 639 BC. Khan. We all know about this time. We all know that the northern kingdom is well in captivity under the Assyrians. Understand? Because the northern kingdom was taken under 722 BC. But Judah held on to the rulership for a long time, even though there was internal conflicts going on and all that. But Judah was, the kingdom was, so to speak, still intact. Because their wickedness wasn't as severe consistently as the northern kingdom's wickedness was. Because the northern kingdom, none of the kings tried to be righteous. But in the southern kingdom, you had, some of the kings, about 8 or so of them who had some degree of righteousness about them, who made an effort to serve the Most High and promote righteousness in the kingdom. So the Most High, you let them rule for a longer period than the northern kingdom. So right now we are at 639 BC when Josiah began to reign. Read.
Verse 25. Now the rest of the acts of Ammon, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And he was buried in his sepulchre in the garden of Uzziah, and Josiah his son reigned in his stead.
Right, so Uzziah reigned in his stead, in Ammon's stead. Okay, read chapter 22.
This is chapter 22, verse 1. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jedidah, the daughter of Adiah of Boskath.
So Josiah was the second youngest king in Israel. Okay, he was 8 years old when he began to reign, and of course he had advisors, because no 8-year-old boy was up in a level of maturity where they could conduct a king's affairs. Can read on.
Verse 3. And it came to pass in the 18th year of King Josiah that the king sent Shaphan, the son of Azaliah, the son of Mushallam, the scribe, to the house of the Most High, saying, Go up to Hilkiah, the high priest, and he made some the silver which is brought into the house of the Most High, which the keepers of the door have gathered of the people, and let them deliver it into the hand of the doers of the work that have the oversight of the house of the Most High, and let them give it to the doers of the work which is in the house of the Most High, to repair the breaches of the house, unto carpenters and builders and masons, and to buy timber and hewn stone to repair the house.
Right, so this is also recorded in First Kings. So we're reading about it again in Josiah. He sent messages to the priests and elders and men of Israel to make an inquiry for how much was the wealth of the temple, so to speak, gold and silver, whatever we have, so we can use as funding to repair the breach of the house. Read.
Verse 7. Howbeit there was no reckoning made with them of the money that was delivered into their hand, because they dealt faithfully. And Hilkiah, the high priest, said unto Shaphan, the scribe, I have found the book of the law in the house of the Most High. And Hilkiah gave the book of Shaphan and read it. And he read it. And Shaphan the scribe came to the king and brought the king word again and said, Thy servants have gathered the money that was found in the house, and have delivered it into the hand of them that do the work, that have the oversight of the house of the Most High. And Shaphan the scribe shewed the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest hath delivered me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king.
Right, so he brought the money, to the king, and also brought the books to the king and read the books. Let's see what he read. Read the book to the king, King Uzziah. Read.
And it came to pass when the king had heard the words of the book of the law that he rent his clothes.
I can't. What? Is this what the Moses said we should do?
Right.
So how come we be living like this all this time? That's how wicked it was. I mean, for it to be like a surprise to the king, the commandments of the Most High, that to the point that he was shocked to know how far the people have deviated from the commandments of the Most High. Said, no, we can't live like this. So he rent his clothes, probably call a fast, get the scribes and the priests and all that together to teach the people, so we can bring about a reconciliation with the Most High and reestablish a righteous kingdom. Read.
Verse 12. And the king commanded Hilkiah the priest and Ahikam the son of Shaphan and Akbor the son of Micaiah and Shaphan the scribe and Azahiah the servant of the king, saying, Go ye, inquire of the Most High for me and for the people and for all Judah concerning the words of this book that is found. For great is the wrath of the Most High that is kindled against us, because our fathers have not hearkened unto the words of this book, to do according unto all that which is written concerning us. So Hilkiah the priest and Ahikam and Akbar and Shaphan and Azahiah went unto Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shalom, the son of Tukva, the son of Harhas, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they communed with her. And she said unto them, Thus said the Most High, the power of Israel, tell the man that sent you to me, Thus saith the Most High, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the words of the book which the king of Judah hath read.
Right. So when they read the book, when the king read the book, he made inquire of the prophetess, and let her know what was written in the book, or what they found in the book, and try to inquire of their status with the Most High. And the prophetess let him know the Most High is wrath with Israel right now for your disobedience. Disobedience to him over these years. He's going to bring evil upon this land. I jump to chapter 23.
Chapter 23, verse 1. And the king sent, and they gathered unto him all the elders of Judah and of Jerusalem. And the king went up into the house of the Most High, and all the men of Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with him, and the priests and the prophets, and all the people, both small and great. And he read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant, which was found in the house of the Most High. And the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before the Most High, to walk after the Most High, and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all their heart and all their soul, to perform the words of this covenant that were written in this book.
Yeah, verse 21.
Verse 21. And the king commanded all the people, saying, Keep the Passover unto the Most High your power, as it is written in the book of this covenant. Surely there was not holden such a Passover from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Israel, nor of the kings of Judah, but in the 18th year of King Josiah, wherein this Passover was holden to the Most High in Jerusalem.
Right, this was one of the most prominent, most talked about Passover that took place in Israel during the time of Uzziah, in the 18th year of his reign. You know what I mean? It's not the Most High saying when you've been going off, and you realize that you've been going off, you got to seek the Most High 10 times as hard. You gotta be sincere about your a reconciliation that you try to bring about with the Most High, to let him know you're serious. And that's what Josiah did. Keep the laws, He called for the elders and to talk, the scribes and all that, to talk to the people. Let them know. We have been disobeying the Most High's commandments for a long time. We got to come back to righteousness. To the point where I kept this prominent Passover where they slaughter how many oxen, how many sheep and all that. Sacrifice to the Most High was one of the most talked about Passover for generations in the land of Israel. Khan, let me see. I read on 24, verse 24.
Verse 24.
Khan.
Moreover, the workers with familiar spirits, and the wizards, and the images, and the idols, and all the abominations that were spied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, did Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the law which were written in the book that Hilkiah, the priest, found in the house of the Most High. And the like unto him was there no king before him, that turned to the Most High with all his heart, and with all his soul, and with all his might, according to all the law of Moses. Neither after him arose there any like him. Notwithstanding, the Most High turned not from the fierceness of his great wrath, wherewith his anger was kindled against Judah, because of all the provocations that Manasseh had provoked him withal.
Right, Manasseh did some wickedness unto the Most High. So to the point that even though Josiah was in righteousness, the Most High was still going to bring wrath upon Judah. Read on.
And the Most High said, I will remove Judah also out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, and will cast off this city Jerusalem, which I have chosen, in the house of which I said, my name shall be there. Now the rest of the acts of Josiah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
So the Most High said, just like I removed the northern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel from out of his sight, I'm going to do the same thing to the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judah. Read on, verse 29.
In his days, Pharaoh Nechoth, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river of Euphrates. And King Josiah went against him, and he slew him at Megiddo when he had seen him.
Right, so in his days, Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates. And King Uzziah went against him. So King Uzziah went against the king of Egypt. And the king of Egypt slew him at Magadan. Read.
And his servants carried him in a chariot dead from Megiddo, and brought him to Jerusalem, and buried him in his own sepulchre. And the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and anointed him, and made him king in his father's stead.
Right, so Josiah reigned from 639 to 608 BC, 31 years, and his son Jehoahaz became king in 608. Read.
Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamatah, the daughter of Jeremiah and Lebna.
Damn, this guy gonna reign 3 months. Damn, what happened? 3 months. Wow. Let's find out what happened to him. Read on.
And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that his fathers had done. And Pharaoh Nechoth put him in bands at Riblah in the land of Hamath, that he might not reign in Jerusalem, and put the land to a tribute of 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold.
Okay, so the king of the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, removed him from his position. Okay, and then brought him and I put a levy upon the Israelites. Now, so Egypt, we're back in bondage again, so to speak, under the Egyptians. No, they're imposing a levy against us. Got to pay them tribute now. They removed a king after he ruled for only 3 months. After they slew, after they slew his father Josiah. This is 608 BC, right?
And the Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Josiah, king in the room of Josiah, his father, and turned his name to Joachim, and took Jehoahaz away, and he came to Egypt and died there.
Right. So the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, now he took Josiah's other son and made him king instead of Jehoahaz. Okay. Changed his name to Jehoiakim, and then I took Jehoahaz to Egypt, where he died. He died in Egypt. Okay, so read on. So right now we have another king in Israel, Jehoiakim. He became the king of Israel in 608 BC. Read on.
And Joachim gave the silver and the gold to Pharaoh, but he taxed the land to give the money according to the commandment of Pharaoh. He exacted the silver and the gold of the people of the land, of everyone according to his taxation, to give it unto Pharaoh Necho. Joachim was 25 years old when he began to reign. Right,
okay. Now jump to chapter 24.
Chapter 24. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Joachim became his servant 3 years when he turned and rebelled against him.
Right, so now Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians are coming into the picture. Previously, I've been hearing about the Assyrians, and then suddenly we hear about the Egyptians coming into the picture also. But now Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, was coming into the picture. This is 608 BC. So he made the king of Israel a servant. Meaning what? Like a puppet ruler now. They are to pay tribute to the king of Babylon. Right?
And the Most High sent against him bands of the Chaldees, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites, and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of the Most High, which he spake by his servants the prophets. Surely at the commandment of the Most High came this upon Judah, to remove them out of his sight, for the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he did, and also for the innocent blood that he shed. For he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which the Most High would not pardon. Now the rest of the acts of Joachim and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Joachim slept with his fathers, and Joachim, his son, reigned in his stead.
That's fine. What happened to Jehoiakim? Okay, maybe they slaughtered him because he had rebelled against the Babylonians, and then now the Babylonians put his son Jehoiachin. So Jehoiakim slept with his fathers, meaning he died and was buried with his fathers, and Jehoiachin, his son, reigned in his stead. So Jehoiachin started reigning in 597 BC. After his father Jehoiakim. Read.
And the king of Egypt came not again any more out of his land. For the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt unto the river of Euphrates all that pertained to the king of Egypt.
So now the king of Babylon, the Babylonians were now the power in the region. So all the certain territories that the Egyptians owned, like territories along the river Euphrates. Understand that whatever garrison they had there and all that. Now the Babylonians took that over. So the Egyptians couldn't invade Israel anymore. Not the kingdom anymore. But guess what? The Babylonians could. So it didn't really matter which one. Judah was still besieged by another nation. This is 597 BC. The Babylonians were ruling had other people besieged. Read on.
Jehoiakim was 18 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 3 months. His mother's name was Nahashtah, the daughter of Elna, then Elnathan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that his father had done.
Right. So you reigned only 3 months, and he was the evil king, disobeying the Most High's commandments. Read.
At that time, the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against Jerusalem, and the city was besieged. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants did besiege it. And Joachim, the king of Judah, went out to the king of Babylon, he and his mother, and his servants, and his princes, and his officers. And the king of Babylon took him in the 8th year of his reign.
Right. So the Babylonians besieged Judah 3 years, and 400. You know, when a city is besieged, nothing can come in, nothing can go out. Understand? They got it covered, cornered. So you couldn't get any help from outside forces. You couldn't get any food. You couldn't do any kind of trade. You couldn't buy food from outside. Yeah, so basically, in a matter of time, we're talking about starvation. So Zedekiah was not, the king was not forced. He took his family, and his wives and his mothers and all the servants and all that, and surrendered himself to Nebuchadnezzar. Right?
And he carried out.
I'm sorry, this is Jehoiachin. Read.
Verse 13. And he carried out thence all the treasures of the house of the Most High, and the treasures of the king's house, and cut in pieces all the vessels of gold which Solomon, king of Israel, had made in the temple of the Most High, as the Most High said. And he carried away all Jerusalem, and all the princes, and all the mighty men of valor, even 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained, save the poorest sort of the people of the land. And he carried away Joachim to Babylon, and the king's mother, and the king's wives, and his officers, and the mighty of the land. Those carried he into captivity from Jerusalem to Babylon.
Right, jump to verse 17. So Jehoiachin was taken to Babylon, he, his mother, and his wives and children and servants to Babylon to serve the Babylonians. Because the Babylonians, just like the Syrians, they drained the land of all the prominent, useful people of the land. They made the land impoverished. So they brought men who could build up their empire to serve them in Babylon. Read.
Verse 17. And the king of Babylon made Mattaniah, his father's brother king in his stead, and changed his name to Zedekiah.
Right. So now they have a new king in Babylon. A new king in Judah in the same 597 BC. Zedekiah. Read. His name, Mattaniah, and they changed his name to Zedekiah. Read.
Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah of Libnah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, according to all that Joachim had done.
So you reigned for 11 years. Read.
For through the anger of the Most High it came to pass in Jerusalem and Judah, until he had cast them out from his presence, that Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylon.
So after 11 years, Zedekiah rebelled against the Babylonians. He started reigning in 597 BC, and in 586 BC, after 11 years, he rebelled against the Babylonians. Anyone know what happened to anything of significance that happened in Judah in 586 BC? Off the top of your head, can anyone recall? In 597, that's when Zedekiah started to reign. And after 11 years, which is 586 BC, he rebelled against Babylon, the Babylonians. What happened in 586 BC? Yeah. No, the siege happened in 597. The siege happened already during the time of Jehoiachin. Actually, before that, it's 597, Jehoiachin's reign. So what happened up in 586 BC? I read on, chapter 25.
Chapter 25. And it came to pass in the 9th year of his reign, in the 10th month, in the 10th day of the month, that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came he and all his host against Jerusalem, and pitched against it, and they built forts against it round about. And the city was besieged unto the 11th year of the king of Zedekiah. And on the 9th day of the 4th month, the famine prevailed in the city, and there was no bread for the people of the land. And the city was broken up, and all the men of war fled by night by the war of the gate between two walls.
Right. So the mighty man, there was famine. I mean, there was no bread, no food could come in, nothing would grow. They were besieged by the Babylonians up until the 11th year. I'm saying, even the mighty men, at night time they snuck out, trying to save themselves. They wasn't going to put up in a resistance, but they saw that, hey, they were overpowered. They didn't stand a chance against the Babylonians. So they were at this point, they were just trying to save themselves. Read.
Which is by the king's garden. Now the Chaldees were against the city round about, and the king went the way toward the plain. And the army of the Chaldees pursued after the king and overtook him in the plains of Jericho.
So no, Zedekiah was trying to make a run for it too. It was in the plains. And about the Chaldeans, the Babylonians saw him and they pursued after him. So where you think you're going? And then they ran after him. Read on. Asalak.
And all his army were scattered from him.
So and his men didn't even try to put up a resistance. They didn't even try to defend him. What? Who came back? Okay. So they're going to go out? Are they going to go out? Okay. I know about 5 minutes. Read.
And overtook him in the plains of Jericho, and all his army were scattered from him. So they took the king and brought him up to the king of Babylon to Riblah, and they gave judgment upon him.
Right. So that Zedekiah was trying to escape. They overtook him and they brought him to Babylon to make an inquiry and pass judgment upon him for his disobedience to them. Let's see what they did to Zedekiah. Read on.
And they slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes.
So they slew his son in front of him. His sons in front of him. Read.
And put out the eyes of Zedekiah.
And they plucked out his eyes. He couldn't see anything. Read.
And bound him with fetters of brass, and carried him to Babylon.
They put him on edge. This guy was on the fetters and chains, man. Right. The king, man. That's why they did to a king, son. I mean, we can't forget these things. And I'm saying it's a righteous thing to recompense tribulation to them that trouble us. So all that they're gonna get double for what they did to us, man. Right, even though about the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High is gonna have mercy on us anyway. To the point that he's going to use us to take our revenge upon these nations who did these things to us. Our adversaries, our oppressors, hey, we're going to rule over our oppressors. Right. Read.
Verse 8. In the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem.
Right. So what year is this now? 586 BC. I'm asking the question again. What happened of significance in Jerusalem in 586 BC? Yeah. But up until that point, yeah, that happened too. No, they slew his sons in front of him. Right, Khan. But that happened in Babylon, though. They took him. He was trying to leave Jerusalem, and they caught him, and they brought him to Babylon, and slew his sons in Babylon, and brought him then brought him, I guess, to the capital city. They took his son to the king, and then they brought him on right in the Babylonian territories. Okay, read on.
And he
read verse 8 again.
Verse 8. And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuzaradan, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem. And he burnt the house of the Most High, and the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem, and every great man's house burnt he with fire. And all the army of the Chaldees that were with the captain of the guard break down the walls of Jerusalem round about. Now the rest of the people that were left in the city, and the fugitives that fell away to the king of Babylon, with the remnant of the multitude, did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carry away. But the captain of the guard left of the poor of the land to be vine dressers and husband.
Right, so they burned the house of the Lord. That's a temple. That's what happened in 586 BC. They burnt down the temple. They burnt down the palace. They burnt down the mighty man's house. So basically, they destroyed, any rulership we have. They destroyed our house of worship, our kings the king's house, and then the mighty men. So that basically, we were, destroyed as a nation. The only people that left in Judah were the poor men, the farmers, the wine dressers, people to till the soil, till the soil and grow crops and all that they could bring them to Babylon to feed the Babylonians. And that's the only people that left. The men who didn't have the knowledge or skill or sophistication to rebuild the land, the country, the kingdom. That's all that's happened in 586 BC. Get Jeremiah 29 and 10. So at this point, the most prominent men of Judah were carried to Babylon. 586 BC.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 10. For thus saith the Most High, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, and causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Most High, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Most High. And I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations, and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Most High.
Right. So the Most High had prophesied to Jeremiah, right there in Jeremiah 29 and 10, that he would spend 70 years in Babylon. Understand? Serving the Babylonians. And the Most High said what? After 70 years are accomplished, we shall seek him. And if we seek him diligently with all our hearts, we will find him. And he will gather us from the four corners. He will gather us again and bring us back to our homeland. So we started going to Babylon in what? 608 BC. So 70 years after that is what? 538 BC. Understand? When the Most High was released from the Babylonian captivity. So just to fulfill prophecy. So we spend 70 years in Babylon. That's probably what the Most High told told the prophet Jeremiah concerning us. Can. And with that, that concludes the lesson on the southern the kings of the southern kingdom, kings of Judah, the southern kingdom. So Shalom and Tawara, Yasharala, those in the conference calls and those tuning in on the live stream. And don't forget tomorrow. Don't forget tomorrow we have Sabbath service starting at 12 noon till about 5 Eastern time. And to all Yasharala, don't forget the Light of Zion will be having a Passover coming up shortly. I'm talking about the Passover coming up shortly, and I want to remind you, April 19th. Yeah, that's when we're having our Passover. Okay, so and the donation that we are requiring is $50 for individual and I think $100 for families. Okay, that's the only donation that we're requiring for those who are Israelite born who are going to attend the Most High's Passover as per the commandments of the Most High. Can. Tomorrow we go over there on the new moon on our other thing. Can. Imagine upon you, Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem. Mashiach Spalal, Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kwadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahawa, Malakwathka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Ka, Bashamayim, Natan Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalat Nawa, Kawabat Nawa, Kasalat Nawa, Kawabat Nawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Anawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Man, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wahata Pa'arath, Lawalam, Ba'asham, Hamashiach, Yahawashai, Tawara, Aman.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yasha, Tawara Tam Yad, Amen. Hallelujah.